Okay, I'm going to talk about darkness. Now, darkness is not a power. It never was, never will be, never can be. Darkness is an effect. The world has dark places and dark themes and dark things and dark ways. Evil tries to use darkness as a power, and as we all know, light shines through and burns it. And it'll never be a sustaining, continuous, perpetual power or an effect, because that doesn't bring life. The sun brings life. It allows things to grow. Darkness is a cold place. I believe that men and women live a very different reality. And I would say that more men are presented with seeing a dark world, and a lot of women are, and this is all my opinion, women are affected by darkness, and men and women try to use darkness as a power. Now, I've been exposed to much darkness in my life, and in society, in the world, we have to keep ourselves safe. We have to cloak ourselves. We have to blend in sometimes. And to appear dark and to use dark themes and to address darkness with darkness, it doesn't relate to a power, but it's an effect to, wither away the darkness by taking it in. And, it's like a person becomes like a capacitor. If you're into any kind of electronics or technology, a capacitor, you could charge up a capacitor. And when you go through life, there's so much darkness sometimes that it sticks to you in ways, but that doesn't mean you're a dark person. And when you operate on the context of love and light, and you have been full of experiences that were dark, you can employ the effect of darkness to address darkness with the purpose of shining light through it. And that's something that I do, because naturally, I've had many dark experiences, but obviously I'm still here. And some of these experiences, many of them, I know other people and I'm aware of other circumstances where the effect of that darkness pulled them in, and they've tried to use it as a power because they were affected by the darkness, with other people using it as a power, and they all fail in the end. So, it sticks to you, but my general context, I could be a very dark individual in my expression. In my daily life, I deal with darkness, and sometimes that darkness attracts itself to me because there's a contrast and a lack of understanding. But like I said, in the context of light and love, we can wither away and break down the darkness, and that's kind of what I do. And when you come across as strong or bold or hard or even aggressive, it's a self-defense mechanism, and I've learned to use that. As an artist, I started off walking through the woods. I didn't have friends. We were 14 miles from the nearest store. So my friends were animals and trees and gardens and fields of grass and seasons of sunshine and rain and snow. And, that gives life. And in the context of darkness being related to water, hail, like in the Gaelic and with runes, if you're familiar with that, Hagalaz means that hail will come down and destroy, but that hail will melt and turn into water and give new growth to what survives. And dark things don't survive because it's cold. So things with light that have warmth inside survive. And I'm a motherfucking survivor. And a lot of people, when they first see me and they experience my presence, they see the dark side. Some of them see right through it, and they know that I'm not dark. And some people get spooked over and over. And, you know, I can understand that. But my power of light is forgiveness and acceptance and communication. And that is what it takes to break down darkness. And by setting an example. Okay, when we first moved to Florida, I was very small. I was probably 75, 76 pounds in high school. I was in, like, there was 2 grades difference here. Like, people in Florida were older and in lower grades. So, but when I went to high school and even middle school, 1 year in middle school, I mean, I was attacked and beat up by about 10 kids and shoved in a small locker, the bottom locker, and a unanimous lock put on it. And about 15 minutes later, after everybody left the gym and the locker rooms, you know, some kid, he was Italian, he saw me in there. And, you know, he said he was going to get the coach. So what he did is he rolled up a $20 bill and he stuck it in a little hole as proof and promised that he would come back. And it was about 40 minutes, and I was stuck in this little fucking box. You know, about the gym teacher came in about 20 minutes, and then they had to go find the custodian with a bolt cutter and cut the lock off. You know, I've been lynched a bunch of times. You know, you can see other videos where my life was destroyed by cops assuming and operating on darkness, because there's dark tones to the police and everything. And not all of them are dark, but some of them have darkness, and they get hired because they want to combat darkness, and they end up using it because they see it and they're around it. And, like, you know, I've been through so much of this, and I'm so fortunate. So many people have lost so much more than myself. And what I've lost is the context of freedom, liberty, and justice in my own life as a power, an example of light shining through to protect people like myself and other people. And it didn't protect other people as much as it did me. And, you know, as an example, in comparison, if you ever researched or read some good books that are books written by man, you know, the example of Job, you know, that is a light shining through the darkness, and the darkness was continually coming down on that person in every way. And the universe says, you're strong enough with one particle of light. You know, you look at the stars in the sky, and they light up the sky, and they twinkle like fiber optics, like we're inside of some little orb or some kind of circuit, and we operate on those little fiber optics. Okay, now that there's people that are blind, and they've been covered up, and they've chose to dismiss the light, and they operate in darkness, they try to use the power, they've gotten together, and the world has become a shit-fuck piece of crap in a society way that they exist. And until we make the changes we can make, we're going to have to not be eroded by darkness. We can't let negativity and darkness get to us and force us to not operate on the context of love by judging people, labeling people, dismissing them, cutting them short, you know, breaking down and degrading their reality by saying they're not this when they're this. And, like, you know, I have proof all through my life, and as a fisher of men, I deal with one person at a time, and because that one person could know 10 people. And some people have stuck up for me, you know, without even knowing me, because they see my light. And some people that have actually got through experiences with me and learned that I'm not a dark individual, you know, they have stuck up for me too. And when other people get spooked, you know, and that's what it's about. It's about getting spooked. And it is fear, and it's being scared. Okay, now, as an artist, I could draw people killing each other. I could draw, you know, hearts and balloons floating in the sky above. Okay, I like the Lord of the Rings. I like movies like that. They really describe, you know, what our world is symbolistically. And, you know, the fact that a man was able to take that time talking and make all that up shows the power of one human to create a life and a civilization and a world and a reality. And that's just a movie. And, in these times, we can do that ourselves, working with each other to recreate this reality. And it's just a shift change, because if everything is carbon, it could be broken down and recycled. And that's what light workers do. We are there to spread the light. We are there to continue the chain of events that will wither away the darkness and bring light on the subjects that we need to. And communication and patience and understanding through lack of judgment or dismissal of judgment is how we will get there. And don't stop. Just don't stop. Okay, because if you have light in your heart, you will never not see it, and you will always know it, because light is connected to free will, believe it or not. And darkness and people that try to use darkness as a power, they have to destroy your free will to make that happen. But it won't last. It never lasts. And, there's people in my life that I want to be there, and I will always be there for them. And, some of them don't understand that. And, I can only hope that with the right amount of time, that the reality shows through that, we share a same light, and we can connect together and work together. Because sometimes when two people with light get together, creativity happens, and that's creativity from nothing happens, just ideas and concepts and designs pop out of nowhere, and they facilitate the need of the moment, and the need of making dreams come true, and the need of dealing with things that are existing that should be taken apart or broken down. And that is what light is about. I don't know, I have to mention Jim Morrison. The day destroys the night divides the day. And sometimes with negative situations and circumstances, negativity can divide the light in our days. And that's an attack, and it will come from nowhere, because the darkness effect and that negativity, it's a chain, but also the light is a chain. So if you operate in the context of light, you shouldn't have any fear of protecting yourself, of being informed, of manipulating situations that are dark to try and find a good outcome. And we're all human, okay? I make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes it's with patience. But, I know ahead of time, if I have a simple value system, that I will always be safe. And that's why I'm a 46-year-old man, that has been through some shit, but nothing compared to what anybody else has been through. Because for every dark moment that comes to me, I see more light that shines outside of those dark moments. And, sometimes it takes time and patience, and you got to eat. You got to eat the right things. You got to hydrate yourself. You got to cut down the noise and the technology use and find quiet spaces. You got to put yourself near people, but you can't ignore things. You can't dismiss things, because then healing does not happen. If that was true, then think about if we just dismiss things and not rebuild and break down and recycle them, we would have a garbage pile bigger than the earth. Okay? And that can happen in our life and our social structure with people. Okay? Because if you go through friends and lovers, you dismiss them, and all you have is a big giant population of crap. And there are recyclable elements of light within those piles. And in the end, we will prevail. And in the end, the context of light will not stop shining. Okay? And, it is a rainbow of color out there. And when the sun shines, it's just such a great thing. And the sun shines for you. just like the sun shines for me. And we are all children of the universe. And I like to say the power of goodness, force of creation, and the spirit of the Almighty. And that's what I go with. And there's certain things I don't want to define. I don't want to define my love for people in certain ways. I don't want to define religion in certain ways, because the darkness effect can come in and negativity can attach itself to that. And, you can find light within positive circumstances with very dark people, even ones that have employed darkness as a power. And, I've been around people that hurt people and destroyed things, and I've never seen the dark side of them, but I know it's there because it's a fact and it's on record. And I can witness those people and say that there is a particle of light, but those people have not been healed to the degree that when they're not around me, they may employ darkness as an effect and a power, but I could see them within those same days, and they will not show me that. So I like to think that I make a good witness. And I wish more people would witness me and see me for what I am and trying to do instead of attacking me. There's a couple other videos that I made, and you could tell, you could see that I am cloaked in darkness, and that darkness is sitting within me because of the negative circumstances. There's a 20-minute video, but people don't have attention span. If you have light, you'll want to see the light, and you'll sift through it, and you'll protect yourself, and you will know that you won't get hurt by spending 10 minutes, spending 20 minutes, spending a dime or 50 cents to make a phone call today, or spending a part of your day to open up and lay everything out on the table for what it is, and have a sense of humbleness and integrity and honor and pride and diplomacy. And I know that exists, believe me. I know that for so many it exists in their life and in their form and in their spirit and in their being and in their aura. And, we get pushed around. And I will, like I said, I can draw balloons floating through the sky, with sunflowers, and the petals will be dropping down, and flickering and giving little shimmers. Or I could fucking draw a snake eating a baby, okay? Hieronymus Bosch paintings, they're beautiful. Wyeth paintings, big open skies and golden fields, beautiful, okay? We have the power to go from one to the next, and that's where your life circumstance lies, is in the situation for you to make decisions on being powerful enough to know the difference and employ both sides. Because, you can't run. We can't run now. There's no more running. And that goes for everybody. And if you've had a dark situation in your life and it got the best of you, know that there's people like me that, we're here and we have love for you. And we have open arms, But if you're going to fuck around and pull some shit and try to be manipulating in a selfish, greedy way, like many people in the world are doing right now with technology and giving us a problem, and trying to hurt innocent people so they can capitalize and roll us all into one as if we should be judged the same and not as individuals, you're going to have a problem, okay? Because this light is bright and it fucking burns. And we're going to burn you out, okay? And that may be a dark statement, but it's coming from light. So take care, folks. I hope you have a wonderful time in life. And I hope you weather the storms and find the best way possible to survive in goodness and continue to spread love. peace.